Hello, in today's video I want to talk about Pacman frogs and their care, maintenance, habitat, personalities. Like, I want to cover as much as I can about Pacman frogs and inform you guys on what I have learned. But first I wanted to show you guys my glowfish tank that I just reset up, and then my dog who wanted to be in the video as well. So this is Raspberry, my newest Pacman frog, 7 weeks old. I got it last week. It is a strawberry pineapple Pacman frog, a type of albino Pacman frog. And yeah, it's pretty cool looking. I like how it's pink. It's not a very common color for frogs, and obviously you don't get that in the wild. And it just became kind of more or less accustomed to its new setup. It has started hunting. I tried feeding it pellets, like I feed Mako pellets, as you have probably seen in a previous video. And it does not like pellets at all. It really prefers live food. With Pacman frogs, though, I have noticed that you grow their tank with them, and that way it reduces their stress and it helps them eat more. I understand that some people take them out of their tank and put them in another tank to feed them, which is fine, and I recommend that too. But in my experience, when I have tried that, my Pacman frogs for some reason don't like that. They really prefer to stay and eat in their tank, and luckily they eat all their food when I put it in their tank. And speaking of tanks, here is Mako's tank, Mako's setup, and the calcium that I use to dust Mako's crickets. Now, for a tank, you want the temperature during the day to be about 75 to 78 degrees, and then at night you want it to be about 70 to 72, 73 degrees. And how I have mine set up is, instead of misting all the time, I pour water in the tank first, and then I put dirt over that and then moss over that, so that way when they burrow, because they naturally like to burrow, she can burrow into a part that has water, so that way she gets her water like that, because I know she feels vulnerable if she comes out for water. So I wanted to show you guys in Raspberry's tank how it is a layer of water at the bottom that blends into the dirt and then has the moss on top. So I like to do that for my Pacman frog tanks, because that way when the frog burrows, it doesn't dry out because there's water in the dirt, and they can absorb the water that way too. Raspberry really likes it and has become a lot more comfortable faster with that method, so I really recommend that. In terms of feeding, Raspberry only prefers live food, and it will not take to pellets at all, even though I've been trying. Mako loves pellets, crickets, and waxworms, but she does not like mealworms. So a variety of insects is recommended for your Pacman frog, but you should know that, when you're trying that, you will see that sometimes they don't take to certain foods as fast as other ones, which is okay, but I still highly recommend a variety of different foods. Having different foods, keeps them from getting bored or too used to one thing, and it introduces different nutrients to their diet. A lot of people I know love to use dubia roaches, and their Pacman frogs love dubia roaches. They kind of compare it to drugs for frogs in a way. So yeah, I mostly feed Mako crickets and pellets, and I recommend pellets because you don't want to keep your Pacman frog on a certain diet for too long with crickets, because then depending on where you get your crickets, there's a chance that they could have parasites, and then your Pacman frog could have parasites from that. Mako is almost the size to where I can start feeding her feeder fish. So once she gets a little bit bigger, I will start feeding her one baby feeder fish a week, and then alternate that with a couple crickets dusted with calcium powder, just so that Mako is getting all her nutrients and staying healthy and everything. But personally, I don't want her to stay on crickets too long, and I'm really hoping that Raspberry can adjust to eating pellets also, and then eventually feeder fish. And speaking of Raspberry, now for a mini video of Raspberry just being kind of cute. So before I end the video, I just want to show you guys this clip of Mako during a feeding. She just ate a pellet, and now I'm feeding her a second one, and she knows I have food for her, so she's just watching the cup very carefully. That is another thing I like about Pacman frogs, is their personalities differ. So Raspberry is more shallow, more dormant, more what you would typically think a Pacman frog is, and Mako, she's just kind of crazy. She gets angry if you put her in anything smaller. She becomes very alert when she knows she's going to be fed. She kind of knows what days she's going to be fed because she'll be more active those days, but she's more active already in general. And when she sees me come into the room, she hops out of wherever she's hiding, and she comes out, and she just stares at me because she thinks I have food for her. So she's really funny in that way. She loves her pellets. She just doesn't always get them on the first try. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please remember to comment, subscribe, like, share, etc. And I'll see you next time.